Hi, everyone, and welcome to Second Nature Healing and Natural Pet Health Alternatives.com. Tonight's webinar is a very special webinar. It's a topic that I am frequently asked about, actually on a nearly daily basis, about special needs animals. Animals who are not well in some way, and people are looking for hope a little bit beyond what modern medicine has to offer. Sometimes when there is just no hope, people go looking online, and I hope you find this video because we're going to talk about a few things that conventional medicine doesn't talk about. So this is all about wellness, diet, and healing for special needs dogs. And in the image you see here, this is really what it's all about. It's about the connection we have with our animals. And without further ado, I just want to mention one more thing, that this webinar is part of a series of webinars called The Healer's Journey. And in The Healer's Journey, we support people who are actively seeking out methods to incorporate and integrate natural healing into their lives, whether they step forward on their path as a healer to facilitate healing for other people or for their animals, or they're just interested in learning more. I welcome you. And so what are your dog's special needs? Now, I mentioned dogs in particular. That tends to be my focus, but really everybody can learn from this. My book is called Heal Together, and in it we talk about ways of healing naturally for people, for animals, and whether they're dogs or cats or birds or whatever, we can all learn from this. So what are your animal's special needs? Is it that they are aging? Is there an injury? Is there some kind of dis-ease? Is there emotional concern? And out of all of these concerns, let's talk about what it means to be normal and healthy. Well, we know aging happens, right? But we want aging to happen with ease and grace. We know injuries can sometimes happen, but we want to have fast healing and recovery. That's normal. That's healthy. And what about disease? In my book and in my life, disease, none. No disease is normal. Having no disease is healthy. What about an emotional state? Happy, content. And we also want quality and quantity of life. Now, there are warning signs of disease. We're going to focus on disease specifically in the next few minutes because this is why people call me. Is your pet fine? And you might even ask yourself this question, are you fine? And what does fine mean? When people say, are you fine? Are you fine? Well, you might be, but signs of disease might be missed. You might not notice something, or maybe you notice something, but you don't understand what it is. Maybe there's a symptom, perhaps, and you think, oh, that's a normal sign of aging, or perhaps it's a normal reaction to an injury that you're just not understanding all the details about it. So really, your pet might not be fine, or the warning sign might actually be hidden. Your animal might be hiding how they really feel, just like you might hide some way of how you really feel because you don't want people to be concerned about you. Animals are similar. They're instinctively sneaky about how they feel. They don't show how they feel. And I have mentioned this in other webinars as well, that it is their instinct to hide an illness or a weakness so that they don't appear vulnerable among the pack. And The warning signs of disease might actually be time sensitive. It might be in your best interest, in your animal's best interest, if you see a warning sign, to act upon it as quickly as possible, because you don't know how long something has been happening on the inside of the body before it showed itself to you. Now, the warning signs themselves, and I have a complete list of this on my website, Natural Pet Health Alternatives. Let's go over a few of them. Stinky coat, breath, or ears. Have you ever pet a dog and then smell your hand and your hand smells stinky? Well, there's something wrong there. A dog should not have a stinky coat or stinky breath or stinky ears. Now, that's quite a word, stinky, but we know that odors like that are associated with not just dirt, but bacteria and other chemicals that are being put out by skin or mucous membranes. Fatty lumps. Fatty lumps are not normal. They are a warning sign that something is going on. Coarse, dry fur. Just like with people, you would like to have shiny, smooth hair. Well, for animals, they should have shiny fur also. It should not be dry. It should not be falling out. There should not be fleas and parasites. If there are fleas and parasites, there might be that might be considered a warning sign that the immune system is compromised. Weepy eyes. Have you ever seen those, especially among those small white dogs? They have that tear stain on their face, and the tear stain because of weepy eyes. But you know what? If their immune system was working well and they are normally healthy, they don't have tear-stained eyes. It is not normal, folks. Pain, stiffness, and discomfort is not normal. This is a warning sign that there is something going on. Frequent infections. It is not normal to have infections like this at all. In fact, if the immune system is working properly, any germs and bacteria can be fought off by the body's own immune system. So you don't have to worry about that. If there's an infection, this could be a warning sign. Allergies, rashes, and sensitivities, not normal. How many animals are on specific prescription diets or medications because of allergies? How many people are like that? This is not normal. You shouldn't have to deal with these things. Sensitive digestion, a special diet. Oh, they have a special diet for everything, don't they? They have one for the different ages of animals. They have one for upset stomach or kidney support or many different kinds of special diets that are sold by veterinary offices and are tagged as prescription diet or special diet. These are not normal. You shouldn't have to rely on that. Excessive shedding, fur loss, and hot spots, again, not normal. These are warning signs that there is something going on. What's the first thing to go in a person or an animal? Hair falls out, right? If there's something going on, your hair is falling out. Same with an animal. There's going to be fur loss. There's going to be hot spots and excessive shedding. Excessive shedding is not normal. Your dog should not be shedding all the time. Excessive thirst, drinking lots of water. Now, I always say animals are smarter than people because if they're thirsty, they'll drink. But excessive thirst might be a sign that there is something not normal. And sleep and disinterest in playing. Some people say that aging, oh, their animal is getting old, sleeping more, not interested in playing. That's not normal. It's not a sign of aging. It's a sign of something wrong, because animals, if they can play, they will. And if they're not playing, there's something going on. Have I made myself clear? These are warning signs, and many people consider these as normal, and I don't want you to consider them as normal. They are not. Enough said. Now, what causes this? I have here toxins, stress, and poor nutrition. These are the big three. I have called them the big three you can't ignore. And we'll go over each one just a little bit to talk about how these three can cause disease. Toxins. Well, in animals, it could be over-treatment, over-vaccination, or over-medicating. The over-treatment might be treatment for parasites or fleas, the chemicals that people give as chewable tablets or topical poison or flea collars or powders, then these can be considered over-treatment. Remember, I said fleas and parasites are a sign that something's wrong. You should really not have to treat for fleas. Environmental toxins. These are the fertilizers and pesticides in your environment outside. Oil on the street, gas, off gas from cars, and pollution in the air, but it's also inside. Where does your animal spend most of its time? Don't say couch or bed. I know you're thinking that. But what about on the carpeting? Carpeting is treated with flame retardants and stain-resistant chemicals. This is environmental toxicity. You're getting off-gassing of heavy metals from electronic equipment and other chemicals you might be using intentionally in your home. The ones you use for cleaning or freshening the air might be toxic to your animal. If you are finding that you have toxins in your environment, you may want to not have them anymore. Replace them or with something safe or not use them. Personal products, these could be, as I said earlier, the flea treatments, but it could also be shampoos or, gosh, I've seen some people use color and nail color and all kinds of things. Well, do this with caution. Do this with some concern that maybe some personal products are not meant to be put on animals, and that your animals smelling these chemicals, it's not good for them. And in food, toxins are always in food, even the ones that are listed organic, because there is drift, because there is some uncertainty. You know that organic is better by far to purchase. However, in food, there will be some toxins. And a few years ago, not so long ago, it was a big problem with food that was imported from China that was registering high for protein. Melamine, however, was the protein that was showing up, and that's not a food. So, in fact, it caused kidney failure in many animals. I think it was 2007, and I spoke about this before, so I won't go into it anymore right now. But you want to make sure that the food is clean and made in the United States, preferably, and as close to natural and whole and raw as possible. Stress can cause serious issues as well. Trauma, adoption, abandonment, abuse, confinement, chaining up. There are many situations in which animals experience trauma. Even if we don't think it's traumatic, it might be for them. For example, we might say abandonment here, and yet it might be as simple as going to work every day. Your animal might not be cool with that, might feel stressed out with you not being around because there's some attachment, there's some anxiety associated with that. And we have to honor that, because for the animal that is traumatic, or it could be traumatic. Surgery and injury can cause stress. Surgery and injury are invasive. They are physically invasive. They do have an effect on the energy in the body as well. So even though a procedure might be life-saving, you have to also consider the fact that this is stressful. The chemicals that are used in having surgery or anything that is used to set or repair an injury can be very stressful. Lifestyle can be stressful, even for therapy dogs, or especially for therapy dogs, dogs who are visiting hospitals and other situations where their behavior and their time is really drawing their energy. Their lifestyle might also be high workload. So we have to consider all of these things that might be stressful for your animal, whether it's anxiety, being alone, or the intensity of their work. Now, food. Recently I did a webinar on how to make a raw food diet for animals. I'd like you to refer to that if your animal's healthy, but this webinar is more about special needs. So in considering special needs, I'm just going to get right to the point here. Avoid all carbohydrates. No potatoes, no rice, no peas, no carrots, because these are high in carbohydrates, all of these. This food converts quickly to sugar. For people who are facing situations where there is inflammation or cells growing out of control, you don't want to feed that with foods that convert quickly to sugar. No corn, no sweet fruits, no sugar. And that includes sweetened yogurt. Some people like to feed their dog yogurt. Okay, but not sweetened. Avoid all processed and synthetic ingredients. So this is kind of the down and dirty of what you have to do with food. Now, when you're reading pet food labels, they generally don't list carbohydrates. They don't tell you the percentage of carbohydrates in there. They tell you how much protein, they tell you how much fat, they might even say how much fiber, and then they go into vitamins and minerals on a pet food label. But what they don't tell you is what the percentage is of carbohydrates, and you can calculate that. And you'll be shocked at how much is in there. How many times do you read that sweet potato is listed as a main ingredient in pet food? It's either first or second in many pet foods. Salmon and sweet potato, or something in sweet potato. This is not good for an animal who is fighting the fight of their life, because that kind of food potentially has been shown to feed cells that are growing out of control. Those cells are hungrier. They'll get the nutrients faster. Avoiding synthetic and processed ingredients, I encourage you to consider making your own food. So I'm going to show you a little more about that. It would be referring to the video on how to make a raw food diet, and then a few precious extra little bits of information. Supplements. This is where you can really make that diet for your animal shine. This is how you make it customized and specific, because the difference between a healthy animal and an animal who is challenged is that they have environmental challenges, they have stress, they have toxic overload, they're nutritionally depleted soils. We have to supplement. We have to support a healthy immune system and support the growth of healthy cells. But the meat and the vegetables part of it, that's the standard. That's the part that is going to be basic for everybody. And then the supplements make the difference. So we want to rebuild, and we want to rejuvenate healthy cells. Now, the most supportive supplements, here's the most important thing. Detox. We want to get out those toxins. Remember, toxins cause a lot of disease. Well, if you take them out with detox, you're going to have a better chance of the body being able to recover and heal itself. So the detox I like, I don't mention specific products or names here. You can contact me for those specific things. But the name of the mineral is clinoptilolite. It is a cleaned and micronized mineral that has no added ingredients. This would be paramount and the first step for getting started with any crisis situation is get those toxins out. Secondly, antioxidants. Now, there are many antioxidants that I like. You want to go with the dark vegetables and fruits, things like broccoli, kale, green beans, those dark vegetables. And in my other video on how to prepare a raw food diet, I show you how to prepare vegetables, so have a look at that. Specific fruits that are, low in sugar are good. Bilberry bilberry as a supplement, or blueberries as fruit would be okay. Strawberries are also low on the glycemic index, so a strawberry once in a while, fine. Not bananas, not grapes, not raisins. Grapes and raisins are actually toxic to dogs. So you don't want anything that is high in sugar. You want to avoid that. But the dark ones, great, do that. Plant medicine. I have medicine in quotes here because, as you know, we talked about medicine on the healer's journey. We're not talking about drugs here. We're talking about gifts of nature. And the plant medicine is the specific plants who are high in specific antioxidants. Turmeric, for example, and bilberry are some of my favorites. I also like cranberry extract. I like milk thistle. I like garlic, and all of these are important supplements depending upon your animal's specific needs, but we like to have antioxidants because of their benefit that they show in the body in supporting healthy cells. Specific essential oils. Now, this is plant medicine to the ultimate. Essential oils are the oils of plants, flowers, leaves, roots, bark, stems that it is extracted and have phytochemicals in very high concentration, so you don't need much to get the job done. I'll talk more about that in just a minute. And here's a plus. You want minerals. You want some minerals that act as antioxidants. This would be copper, zinc, selenium, and I have a very specific product I like for that, so you can ask me more about minerals. All of these are essential supplements, especially when you are helping to support an animal who is special needs or in crisis. Some additional notes. When we talk about supporting the immune system, I have a few things I like very specifically. One is a combination of medicinal mushrooms. And though you can find mushrooms out there on the internet just about anywhere, you want to get mushrooms that are clean. Mushrooms will soak up anything in their environment. They are like little sponges, so they have to be grown in controlled climate, in secure, clean situations so that you are getting clean medicinal mushrooms like turkey tail, reishi, maitake. All of those have been shown to be very effective. Hundreds of studies, if you want to read the studies on medicinal mushrooms, especially used in hospice programs. This is one of my foundational products that I use in crisis situations. So I mentioned detox, now medicinal mushrooms, 2 products. Also minerals and plant medicine are going to be very high on my list of have to get going in the right direction. I've also added colostrum and probiotics, and I'll tell you why. Colostrum is first food. This is found in the mother's milk of new babies. It is very high immune support, and there are a couple of products I really like. I don't carry them myself, but I can point you in that direction. Colostrum, especially for an animal that is has no appetite, is not eating, then you want that animal to get at least some calories to support them while you're working on some other things with detox and immune support. You want them to be able to eat something. They might not be able to eat that raw food diet that you prepared so lovingly, or the stew, or the roast chicken. They might not be able to eat those scrambled eggs. Well, colostrum will be your best friend in that case. Also, probiotics. So many times I hear, especially if surgery is involved, the animals get put on antibiotics. And of course, antibiotics tend to kill all the bacteria, good and bad, in the system. So you want to support with adding some probiotics. And I have some specific recommendations for that as well. Finally, essential oils. On these additional notes, people call and ask about frankincense. Frankincense has many studies, or people have done many studies on frankincense showing its effect with some of those cells that have grown out of control. And you have to be very, very careful with the kind of frankincense you are buying. Don't go to the store to buy frankincense, because that frankincense might not be pure. Even online, the frankincense you are getting might have synthetics. It might be corrupted. It might not have been processed properly. So I have a specific frankincense I like to recommend. If this is something you want to know about, give me a call. Frankincense, in its purest therapeutic form, can be applied topically. It can be diffused in the air, and it can be taken internally. And because I say that it can be taken internally and applied topically, you don't want to compromise what kind of frankincense you're using, especially if you are dealing with special needs and critical care. I mentioned also copaiba here. Copaiba is one of my favorite essential oils. It comes from a tree in Brazil, and it is very high in CBDs, cannabinoids. And we know cannabinoids, people are familiar with cannabinoids because of marijuana. Marijuana has chemicals in it called THC and CBDs. The THC in marijuana is the hallucinogenic one. Okay, we don't want that one. We want the CBDs. We want the anti-anxiety, anti-inflammatory effects of beta-caryophyllene, which happens to be in copaiba. And 55% of copaiba, my copaiba that I like, is beta-caryophyllene. Many more essential oils are very effective in helping to rejuvenate on a vibrational level, an energetic level, doing things that we can't do in any other way. I'll mention it this way. There is a technique called raindrop for physical, emotional, and spiritual support. It's a specific combination of oils that actually can be applied individually. For animals, I mix several of them together, or all of them together in one bottle, and apply them along the spine. You can put these oils on the feet as well. You can use them topically with care. Neat or dilute. Neat is full strength. Dilute, you mix with another oil like olive oil or coconut oil, and you can apply it where it needs to be applied on the body. Was there an injury in the shoulder or the knee? Then you can use specific essential oils there. If there was surgery, then you can use specific essential oils near that or on that. Again, this requires consultation. It requires some knowledge. I would not use oils, I'll mention it again, I wouldn't use anything from the store or something that is just out there online. You have to be certain. It has to be integrous. It has to be pure. Essential oils for internal use, dietary use, there are some that are labeled like that. If you are following any direction from the FDA, you want to make sure that it is safe for internal use. And there are a few that I would recommend that are very good as antioxidants, anti-inflammatory and so forth, and anti-cell gone wayward. You can also diffuse essential oils. One of the best methods of using essential oils is just to bring it into your environment and run it in a diffuser. You can also be the human diffuser for your animal. If you wear essential oils, if you put essential oils on your hands and then just pet your animal, this is a really wonderful way to introduce essential oils to an animal so that they may begin to receive the benefits of this plant medicine. Now, the right supplements are important. I don't recommend supplements chaotically. It's all on purpose. It's all with very distinct knowledge and sense of purpose for your particular animal. So it is important to have the right supplements for your animal's particular needs. Are you supporting the liver? Are you supporting the pancreas? Are you supporting the kidneys? Well, some of that is in general, and some of it is very specific. You can ask for an intuitive assessment. I can do that for you. And you can also find more information on my website, naturalpethealthalternatives.com. Now, prevention really means healthy habits all the time. That's really what prevention means. We're not talking about preventing or curing anything here, but if you are in the habit of conscious living, making good choices based on wholeness, and raising vibration, and if you've been on my webinars, you know what that means. Raising your vibration is all about doing things that are in alignment with health and wholeness. You're not trying to cure or treat a symptom. You're trying to create healthy cells. So if you're doing the creation of healthy cells in the best possible way, that's really what prevention is all about. And I like that idea of prevention. You can also get my book, Heal Together, Natural Health Solutions for Animals and Their Humans. It is available on Amazon. And I think that's it. Just give me a call for a free consultation. Usually I say 15 minutes, but very often I'm on the phone for much longer than that, helping people make good choices and better decisions about the health of their family, and especially their fur family. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to hear from you.